This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Several years ago, I was dealing with a case of the blues during the holidays, and therapy was a bright spot amid all the stress and anxiety. Something to look forward to help me feel grounded, and to provide me with the tools I needed to manage everything that was going on.
And if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched up with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're talking about last night's Monday Night Raw on the road to War Games. Looks like we've got ourselves a fifth participant for the Judgment Day. That's right, Drew McIntyre. After giving his hand in friendship to Seth Rollins and expressing his respect, oh man, screwing over his teammates.
Of condensation. No, that's the wrong word. Being condescending. To Seth Rollins.
Is like the water that forms
like
outside.
If this was cold, you'd have
water there. Yeah, exactly.
The water would come through the glass and start dripping down the side. That's how it works, right?
Right. That's not what Drew McIntyre did, though.
No. There's no fluid coming through Drew McIntyre, other than maybe sweat. Oh, he was so intense. Yeah, there's an element of being condescending towards Seth, a little bit there.
Yeah, I didn't know. I have expected him to attack him, but I feel like, dude, I kind of feel like a lot of the tropes of the Vince McMahon era that, it's like, oh, I look you in the eye, shake your hand, wait till you turn your back, and then bruh, that kind of crap. I kind of feel like that's maybe a thing of the past. I guess we'll see. But in this case, he seemed decently sincere. Was this a situation where he was sincere to Seth Rollins, but that was like his last act of sincerity before he's like, this is what I got to do what I got to do?
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of what it was, is he went to Seth and be like, all right, this is my last act as good guy Drew McIntyre. And after I shake your hand, done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once I say I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get back to get a title rematch. Now, at the end of the show, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, hey, Rollins, I respect you, and I'm going to fight to get that title back. On the other hand, I'm not above, like, screwing over, like, the rest of the rest of your life, with these guys trying to get the tag titles. No. I'm going to align with Judgment Day. And, yeah, I'm going to be in War Games. I'm going to fight to get that title back. And one way I could possibly do that to remain in the scene is to go into War Games against you.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I kind of feel like, I'm kind of curious what direction they're going to go as a character, as a personality, what this like heel turn, if you will, and I'm using the quotation marks, how that will manifest as a character that doesn't seem like, oh, I've got a new attitude kind of thing. Because again, that's the kind of thing where I feel like WWE is getting away from people who just like, I've got a new attitude. No, he was humbled. He realized, just like he said, at Crown Jewel, this is all on me. It's not working. I need to change things. I got to take some steps. And now he's with Judgment Day, and I wonder what that's going to look like, that Drew McIntyre is going to look like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far with this heel turn, if you will, they haven't done the thing where he wakes up one day and realizes, well, I think today I'm going to be a bad guy.
Yeah, right, yeah.
This hasn't been something that's happened seemingly overnight. It's been a progression with him.
Yeah, true.
Where he's been harboring this resentment, this bitterness, this anger about being cost the title at Clash at the Castle by Bloodline, and not finding a way to use that to motivate him or for him to process it and get over it in a healthy fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he balls it up and he harbors that. And he won't let it go or won't get over it, or whatever terminology you want to use to him moving on from that moment.
Yeah.
Which is relatable.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of people listen to Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech.
Oh man, yeah.
It's a list of chips on his shoulder that motivated him.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what this kind of was for Drew McIntyre for a bit. I don't know. But then after the loss of Seth, where Judgment Day didn't cost him anything, there was no bloodline to cost him anything. It was his own desperation to get that win that ended up costing him the match. He's got no one to blame for but himself. And that might be a tough realization for him to deal with. Mm-hmm. That this was his fault. And he'll go up to Seth and say, yeah, you're right, shake his hand. But at this juncture now, rather than kind of really come to grips with the idea that I lost because of my own shortcomings, I'm going to align, at least with this one match, with this faction that runs Raw and try to use that to get back in title contention and this time get the win.
And no love lost for Jey Uso, obviously, because of the bloodline stuff. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they approach his character. I think that Triple H has done a hell of a job so far with, the work that he does with the actual characters of the show, coming off as a bit more complex, a little bit more three-dimensional, as opposed to what we had with the past, where you just wake up, I'm going to be a different person today. You know,
usually doesn't work that way.
No, it usually does not. Another more good news for the Judgment Day. They officially, via the presentation of the cut, JD McDonough is now a member of the Judgment Day. Larson, may I ask you a question?
Sure.
Dude, we've been friends for 30 years. We've been business partners for a long time.
Almost 15 at this point.
Almost 15. Why is it we don't have cuts? We need some going in Raw cuts.
I don't have an answer for you.
I mean, Judgment Day, apparently you don't have to be in a motorcycle crew, because I'm not getting on a motorcycle. I would hurt myself severely.
Oh, I'd probably hurt myself trying to start it, topple right over.
Right, exactly. I'd be like,
yeah, no chance.
That being said, Judgment Day, they've got these great cuts. And when I'm talking about a cut, obviously, is a leather vest.
Yeah.
So,
although Finn doesn't have a vest, he's got a jacket.
That's true.
And Dom's vest isn't leather; it's flannel. It's an off-white.
I guess I do have a cut. What's Liam Wagner?
Yeah,
I've got the denim cut.
Yeah, you got the metal vest. Yeah,
I want some leather cuts though. That'd be awesome.
Well, what would they be adorned with?
Oh, what wouldn't they be adorned with? Awesome.
We get like a stencil of the Going in Raw or Friendo Club logo and spray painted on the back.
You got that right. Yeah, that'd be right. You have the red one, I have the blue one.
There we
or
go.
Vice versa.
That's kind of bright.
So JD gets his. He was very excited about that. Damian Priest himself said, I'll take care of this. He deserves me, claiming to be the leader of Judgment Day. Goaded into it by Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, no, he walked that back. But look, all right, let's go back to War Games. Even with Drew McIntyre seemingly on Team Judgment Day for a 5v5 War Games bout. Before Drew helped Judgment Day retain those tag titles, the second Damian Priest said, I'm the leader of Judgment Day, I'm like, they're losing War Games now.
Yeah.
But having Drew as member of team, like what better way to motivate another title match for Drew McIntyre than him pinning Seth Rollins in War Games?
All right, man. So we have to make a decision now.
No, we don't. Predictions are for another week and a half.
The rumors, I'm not talking about that. The rumors and reports are out there. And I don't want to spoil anything, but they are out there. And look, here's the deal. There are two because for one thing, we know I will preface it by saying this. You and I, before this info was known,
speculated.
I think it was you specifically who called this dead on, dead to rights. Drew McIntyre is going to join Judgment Day for War Games, which leaves a fifth opening on the face team. And we ain't talking about Phil Brooks. The words you said was, what if it's Randy Orton?
And I said Randall Keith Orton.
That's how you refer to him? And I said, well, if they do that, they damn well better announce that in advance of the pay-per-view. Otherwise, everybody in the crowd is going to be chanting CM Punk. That's what you and I said.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, a couple days later, it was reported by Fightful Select that exact sequence seems to be what is planned right now. Plans can always change.
Absolutely.
So it could be somebody else. Maybe at the last minute, Triple H will watch Money in the Bank 2011 and be like, you know what, I'm going to call Phil and we'll use Orton for something else.
Yeah.
But it does seem, and this speculation is completely, because there's been rumors of his return being imminent for ages now. So I don't really consider this too much of a spoiler.
No, not necessarily.
Because it could change. Anything could
change.
happen.
It could change. So with that in mind, let's think about how Randall Keith Orton's inclusion on the face team could play out. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if he has issues with Jey Uso. It was the Usos that beat RK Bro for those tag titles that started the Usos' long reign. I wouldn't be surprised if he still harbored some resentment potentially towards even former members of Bloodline. I know Randall Keith Orton and Cody Rhodes, they have a history together.
Well, that's how this is going to happen, because we have to talk about like what motivation is he going to have coming in. The RK Bro stuff, yeah, you're absolutely right. But goddamn, that was such a long time ago. But I'm not saying he won't have issues. You're absolutely right. Yeah, but they're going to have to run some recap packages.
They will, but at the same time, though, that's Jay's story on Raw is making amends for all his past misdeeds as member of Bloodline, and one of the major ones, was the RK Bro stuff potentially. You could try to make that case from a storyline perspective.
Cody's past with Randy Orton being a part of Legacy, I think will, be the thing where he calls in, his old friend. To help them out here. I mean, that would seem, because he's the politician, he's the architect. He was the one making amends with Seth Rollins, pumping him up last night. Yeah. We just need to get together one day. For one day, we need to be on the same page. And Rollins says, go out and get those tag titles. And so they're on the same page. But Cody is a politician. Yeah. So for him to bring in Orton. Now, Orton, what do you think is a big, what?
Orton's not a politician. He's a Viper.
He is a Viper. That's true.
So he will strike. Yeah. If he sees fit. Yeah, that could include Jey Uso.
Well, okay, so that's a good point, because during the pre-show I sort of laughed off the idea of Judgment Day getting the win here. But number one, let's not forget Triple H loves Judgment Day.
Yeah.
And team faces, they've got a lot of problems with each other. But is the return of Randy Orton, does that override everything in terms of that team winning? Or does Drew McIntyre's story, which is a long time coming, a pretty compelling one, and his inclusion in Team Judgment Day, does that override everything? Is Judgment Day going to win this thing?
I'll say this, and I don't have an answer for is Judgment Day going to win this. I'll put this out there. I know this is circumstances necessitate that they announce who the fifth member of the face team, whoever it is, before the actual show. Because the alternative is you're going to get a bunch of CM Punk chants. So, if it's Randall Keith Orton, he gets that return pop at the SmackDown before whatever it is, and so he gets that pop. He could have a moment. He can hit someone with an RKO, and so that's out of the crowd system at that point.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That return pop, and so at Survivor Series, all right, return pop done. He's been announced. Orton's back. I think if that's the case, Orton's return doesn't necessarily trump whatever stories they want to tell.
I think you're right about that. I think that the idea of Randy, that team losing and Randy being on the losing team sets up, because what do you think is more likely? Randy feuding with somebody on his own War Games team after War Games, or him feuding with Judgment? It's got to be somebody from War Games, from the
or
face
Jay.
Team.
It's got to be Cody or Jay.
Yeah.
Or Seth. Although we've seen Seth Orton plenty in the past.
Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, but Orton's been gone for such a long time.
Yeah, he's been a year and a half.
For a really long time. So yeah, that was a pretty big development last night's Raw. Overall, I really enjoyed last night's Raw. Raw is like my A show these days, man.
They're approaching it like the A show, I feel like, for in a lot of respects. So
it's interesting. I had this question. I'm doing like a hot takes video over at WrestleJuice, and somebody had said SmackDown is the B show because, they said basically SmackDown can be boiled down to a bunch of social media clips, whereas Raw more things happen there. And isn't it kind of interesting that when I perceive of both shows at this point, I've mentioned this to you on Fridays. I don't watch SmackDown live, but I'm always on Twitter, right? Or as LA Knight calls it, X. And I'll basically ingest everything important on SmackDown through social media. All the clips that you need show up on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you don't need to watch. I mean, I hate saying this, but like anything important will happen in a 2-minute clip. On Raw, I've noticed, because last night I watched it live, but sometimes I don't. Most of the times I do. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I don't. Things will happen that will actually make me want, like I'll watch a 2-minute clip, but it'll simply make me want to turn on the show because they've got so many other things going on. And it's kind of interesting that it seems to be an intentional choice to book these Raws with much more stories that weave in and out because maybe, I'm assuming, because it's the 3-hour show, whereas SmackDown is the 2-hour show. So you just have thing.
Yeah.
And that's how the two shows, I think that's intentionally how they approach both shows.
I would think so, because the extra hour on Raw would allow you to weave a more complex tapestry.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like Raw is their prestige TV series. Mm-hmm. You know, like their Succession, their Breaking Bad, whatever the case may be.
Or on the floor match. Let's book it.
There we go. And SmackDown is like their Marvel movie, where you have moments.
Yeah.
And you just have enough interconnective tissue between those moments to give the moments some measure of emotional weight.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Good analogy.
And it's not to say there's not complex. Like I love the tension going on now with damage control. It's just on SmackDown, it feels like more so there's 1 or 2, maybe 3 stories that get that treatment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And on the other hand, Raw kind of feels like if you got a storyline going on Raw, you're gonna get time to develop your character.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And they're doing a good job of taking advantage of that 3rd hour. So it's not filler. They're not resorting to gimmicks to try to make it stand out. They're just telling stories and having those stories, weave and interconnect. And
they still integrate like the comedy aspects of it. We got the Alpha Academy stuff with Tozawa doing, there you go, nasty. God damn it, pal.
God damn it.
And as before we get into the nitty gritty of Raw from last night, Larson, would you like to pay some bills?
Let's do it.
All right.
This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp, Steve. Yes. Let's be honest. All right.
Yes.
Holiday season. It can be a lot.
Yeah, man.
It can be a time of joy, but it can also be a time of stress, anxiety, and sadness.
Yeah, man. And if you're dealing with the seasonal blues during the holidays, therapy can be a bright spot amid all of the stress. Something to look forward to help you feel grounded, and to provide you with tools to manage everything going on.
Yeah, I can think of a time when I wasn't exactly looking forward to the holidays and everything that comes with it. Back in my mid-20s, I know I've talked about this a lot. My anxiety, it got really bad. And I realized in order to live a happier, more productive life that I needed to go to therapy. And it took me a few tries to find someone I really felt comfortable talking to. But once I did, I was able to learn coping skills, positive coping skills to help manage my anxiety and get me back on track to being a better Larson.
So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is to fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
So find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
We got a couple of channel member re-ups here. First up from High Plains Drifter, who's a channel member for 20 months now. He says, "Oh, man, I appreciated Cody's ultimate challenge path to the title yesterday. Steve, both belts held high. All the childs of the world rejoicing."
Cody!
Oh, gosh.
Cody. Why did you lose yesterday, Cody? Are you going to win at War Games?
And then we also have got, who's this here? Elliot. Member for 2 months. Elliot says, Michael Cole said who it was going to be last night. It's going to be Wesley, and him in War Games will be amazing.
Because Wesley's feuding with Dom and NXT for that North American title.
Oh, okay.
That'd be great. Wesley is awesome.
Oh, man. Here's the thing about Wesley, though. Right now, I don't know that anybody on these teams are going to do a top of the cage spot. Wesley would probably want to do that shit.
Yeah.
Say, no, Wes, just get down from there. Get down. I don't want to see that shit, man.
Have they always done a top of the cage spot in the War Game, at least one of the War Games matches each year?
Did EO do like a cool garbage can spot or something last year?
Yeah, she did in NXT.
But I don't think it was from the top. Whoa, yeah, the NXT one was from the top.
Oh, it was a moonsault. Well, yeah, that was from the top. That was a moonsault from the top, yeah.
Oh, God. That's terrifying.
I'm trying to remember last year if there was an off the top of the cage spot.
No good.
I don't recall. I don't remember.
Yeah. But
maybe Cody will do the moonsault from the top.
Man, that's one dude. He needs to stick to his word. He said he's not going to do that shit again. He regrets doing it in the first place.
You watched that landing where I know Wardlow caught him kind of, but it was.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough. Don't do that.
Yeah,
that's no good. Ciampa did the old. He did the
air raid crash off the top on Adam Cole, right?
I feel like that was worse for Adam Cole. Yeah, my goodness.
Through a table. Review King said Becky did a leg drop off the top. No way. That sounds awful.
Oh, was it through a table? I don't know.
It's got to be something. All that on the on your tailbone. Ooh.
My freaking memory is just garbage. Anyways.
Yes, table. All
good thing we've got Christopher Garrick's dropping these notes for us here. Thanks, Chris, because my memory is crap. But I do know that Raw started off.
Hold on. Let me interject for a second.
Please,
when we first started going in Raw, you know what my notes were?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Oh, sorry. I told you. I just told you.
What the segment was?
It was literally just what the segment was. There was nothing else. It would just say AJ Styles promo. Nothing about what he actually said.
Wow, that sounds awful. That sounds like we're not. That doesn't sound very professional. So AJ Styles came out. Okay, let me try to do that. Who came out? Okay, so Cody came out last night. Hold on a second. I'm not looking at your notes right now. I promise I'm not. I do have his lyrics up here.
Chris Garrick's notes.
Sorry, yeah, the Chris Garrick's notes. So Cody came out last night, and he started talking about his team members.
Yes, that's correct.
I do know that. Okay, I'm going back to the notes now because I don't remember. So he said, I have lots of wonderful memories in this arena. Oh, yeah. And then
that's what the first Dynamite was.
Michael Cole mentions.
He did this, and some other stuff is what he said.
And some other stuff. And then everybody, he's taking shots at AEW.
Oh, he's calling the Pissant Company.
They're so petty. Listen, when you're on top, you can be petty. He says, I've had lots of wonderful memories in this arena, and I want to give you one tonight. When myself and my tag partner main event, Jey Uso, it's just me, Us. Yeet. I tell you, we're going to win those titles back tonight. On the horizon, of course, we've got the match beyond War Games. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my team. Just me, Us.
You know what they should have played was Alan Parsons Project song that the Chicago Bulls used to be introduced to. That'd been awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. But they didn't. Instead, it was just me, Us. Jey Uso, he comes down. Sammy comes down. He's fired up. Then Seth Rollins comes down. He sort of gets in front of Cody. And then Seth grabs the mic and says, "Yeah, you're too kind, DC." And Cody says, "DC, we're all here for one reason, and that reason is Judgment Day. Whether I've gotten along with you my whole career, just recently gotten along with you, or," and then that's when Seth and Cody sort of face off. And then, "If you believe yours is the only way," it's Judgment Day music hits.
Judgment
like
Day. So,
can I do Finn, though?
Sure.
Take a look at these four clowns. They can't even look each other in the eye. How are you going to beat us into War Games?
And Damian Priest says, "Face it. You're a group of randoms thrown together. We are family. I really don't think you know what you're getting into when you step in the cage. I promise you, Judgment Day will be done with each and every one of you."
Seth frickin' Rollins. How does it feel to be world heavyweight champion? But you stand next to Cody Rhodes, the one man you can never beat.
And Priest says, "Yeah. And Cody, how does it feel to know you can beat all these guys in any match, but you can't be the champion?"
Well, he said you can't be a champion. I'm like, he took the tag team titles.
He was a champion. He meant Roman's belt.
So then Finn, they're trying to pile on. They're not very good trash talkers. They're
better than Baron Corbin in NXT, though.
Yeah, but that's a low bar.
That is a very low bar.
So Finn says, Sammy, you call yourself a world champion level superstar, but after your performance last week, I know and your partners know that all you are is a loser.
Priest says,
Sick
let's not
burn,
forget about.
Finn.
I know. Let's not forget about main event Jey Uso. Let me ask you three a question. Can you trust this guy knowing he screwed each of you in the name of his bloodline?
And then that big dummy Dom tries to talk, and of course he gets booed. And Sammy says, Dom, truth is no one wants to hear you talk. I see what you're doing out here, trying to pit us all against each other. This isn't what it's about, though. We can put our differences aside because, let's face it, this is about power. All you talk about is power, and I'll give you credit. You gained a lot of power by cheating and using the numbers game. But at Survivor Series, it's War Games. You don't know what you're in for, pal. 2 rings, 1 cage, and it's the most brutal match of your lives. You'll find out the hard way. The power of Monday Night Raw lies with the 4 guys in the string right now. Yeah. I'm reading this dialogue, and yeah, exactly.
The power lies there, huh?
And I know, like, Sammy delivers this very well, but the actual dialogue is kind of cheesy.
I know. So Cody said, oh, sorry, Steve, you do Cody. He's your favorite.
Thank you so much, Cody. So speaking of power, surprised you can even find your way out here tonight without Mommy. I mean, she is your leader, right? You're going to say, oh, you have no leaders? When she's gone, the orders go through Dom, I bet.
And Priest's like, no.
Oh, no, I get it. You're not the leader, and Dom isn't leader, and Finn isn't leader, which makes JD the leader?
Cody, I'm the leader.
And to their credit, that moment built so well, and the crowd gasped. It was kind of like when Jey Uso said, I don't care what the tribal chief says, which is another great moment.
Oh, that was fantastic.
These little dialogue moments build up so great when it's a got him moment, you know? So then Jay pipes up, yo, Cody, I think you got him heated right now. Yeet.
And so Priest says, War Games, the Judgment Day. And then Seth screams, shut up, everybody. Shut up. I'm tired of all this talking. I'm ready for a fight. 4 of us got to fight tonight. 4 of us don't. I'm dressed for a fight. Sammy, you're dressed for a fight. Why don't we slap the taste out of these 2 bozos? Talking to JD and Dom. Says, come on, JD. Come on, Dom. Let's go. And the Priest goes, we accept.
We accept.
And Seth says, let's get Piercy out here and make it official right now. Yeah, and that match was next.
Priest is doing all sorts of shit, man. Booking matches for each other and stuff.
I know. They were giving him some grief about it later on the show.
So then we had that tag team match. Dom Mysterio, JD McDonough versus Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn. However, this match gets DQ'd, right? Because what's-her-face is attack. Yeah, so Sami catches JD, catapults him to the turnbuckle. Seth hits a sling blade to Dom and a big strike combo to JD. Goes for a buckle bomb on JD as JD grabs Seth's waist. Sammy attacks JD and throws him hard into the ring post. Seth goes for a pedigree as Dom trips him up for a 619, runs into a super kick, and then Rollins hits a buckle bomb, then goes for a stomp as Balor and Priest run through the crowd and attack Seth. So Judgment Day with Rhea now attacks Seth. Sammy tries to help, but the numbers are too much. Cody and Jay make their way running out as they lay waste to Judgment Day. We get ourselves good old-fashioned Triple H brawl. Pierce and the officials. He called this yesterday during the preview, of course. So Pierce runs down with some officials. Security runs down as Jay super kicks Priest and then spears JD. Brawls with Priest. Pierce grabs the mic. Enough! I told you I was sick of the games. Another night, another ruined match. The championship match is too important and they deserve better, the people. So here's what we're going to do. Every single one of you involved in War Games, you're banned from ringside. That's not good enough. I want you out of the building by the main event because you're banned from the arena. And then Rhea just starts laying into Priest as we go to break. A really awesome way to finish up that segment to go to commercial. It's just chaos. And then Rhea, we come back and she's like, this is absolute crap. Monday Night, this is some of Rhea's best promo work.
Absolutely.
Including the Zoe Stark stuff.
Yeah, it was so good.
I feel bad for Zoe Stark. We'll get to that in a second. So this is crap. Monday Night Raw needs Judgment Day. You can't ban us. Pierce says, oh, you don't like that? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. You don't run Raw. Judgment Day doesn't run Raw. I run Raw. You may not like it, but you better not show your face during the main event either. So then Zoe Stark comes out.
Yeah. And
she says, Rhea, I know you're not as dumb as you look, but we know what I'm doing out here. And then Rhea shushes Pierce and says, I want to hear what she has to say. So Zoe says, we all know I'm inside your head. You're spread too thin, worried about too many things. Says War Games, the tag title match, always worried about Dom, and now you're worried about that title. I went through all those women last week to earn this opportunity, and if you think for 1 second you're going to overlook Zoe Stark, and Rhea says, this was great. She says, no, that's where you're wrong. I'm not overlooking you. I've watched you since NXT, and I knew it was a matter of time before we'd be standing face to face. You've accomplished a lot in your first year. You sent the WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus packing. You beat Becky Lynch. You cemented yourself as one of the top women in WWE. It's funny because now I think about it. You remind me of myself. Zoe, you're a future champion, but the only way you're going to win a title here is if you're the opposite brand of me. Mommy's always on top. So no, Zoe, I'm not overlooking you or spreading myself too thin. I can't handle everything because I'm Rhea Bloody Ripley. So now you come out here, you said your piece, get out of my ring and let me continue handling Judgment Day business. She actually, the notes here kind of undersell it. No offense, Chris Garrix. But she lists off everything. So I can handle this, I can handle this, I can handle this, I can handle Dom, Judgment Day, the backstage politics because I'm Rhea Bloody Ripley. And I felt really bad for Zoe Stark. I'd feel bad for anybody right there at that moment because Rhea is on fire and she has the entire crowd chanting her name and she's supposed to be the bad guy in this feud.
I know. And she goes, all right, you can chant my name. Like she says that to the crowd while they're chanting for mommy.
Yeah.
Fine. You can chant my name. Yeah, I know. It's not as if Zoe did, it wasn't like she did a bad job here. She came out and I thought her point was good, especially like, look at everything you got to contend with right now, Rhea. You're spread too thin. You should be focusing on one thing, and that's me in this championship.
This is a bad spot to be in. Zoe is coming along nicely, but somebody who's coming along nicely in there with Rhea Ripley, who's on a whole other level. Dude, I was fired up when she was naming everything that she's got to deal with and how she can deal with it and how she's not overlooking Zoe Stark. I thought that was magnificent. I mean, you need somebody in there to match that kind of energy. Like, dude, I don't even know who they have. And they've got some killer pieces right now. They really do. They've got
Becky.
You need like a Becky or even like a Charlotte or somebody who is kind of Teflon to all this stuff. But like, and Zoe, look, this is going to be a phenomenal match. But like, and I think this is really good experience for Zoe. But Rhea's on such another level right now. That promo last night I thought was like just peak really work. It was awesome.
It was really good. So Zoe says, remember one thing, I nearly took that title from you at Crown Jewel, and I'll become champion of Survivor Series. And Rhea tries to attack her, but Zoe low bridges her over the top. And then we got a Nakamura video package. He says, I'm frustrated. You are blessed with so much privilege, so I'm taking away your choice. The opportunity is mine now. These distractions have not taken my focus off you. Win or lose your next battle, you will only be less than. Not my problem. I will wait for now because I know it all ends by my hands. He's got to be talking to Cody, right?
He's talking to Cody. He's clearly talking to somebody in the War Games match.
Yes.
But yeah, win or lose your next battle, that's War Games. You'll only be less than. Yeah, I mean they're keeping him strong. He's going to beat this whole Alpha Academy thing. He's going to beat Gable. You got a different idea?
It could be Jay. Could be Jay. Because the Usos were the one that beat him and Boogs in the tag title match at Mania.
Oh, man. They're not going to reference anything that has to do with Rick Boogs.
Probably not, but
well,
that's
he also
the only other person I can think of.
This line also, you're blessed with so much privilege.
Yeah.
To me, that feels like
Cody.
That feels like Cody.
Totally.
Yeah, another good thing from Nakamura. We got a new Friendo Club member over here, Random Explorer. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it. And we'll take a brief moment here to remind you guys, now that Random Explorer is a Friendo Club member, he gets access to the Friendo Club setup. Now, the Tribal Chief setup, Larson, we've heard from Roman Reigns, is only for Roman Reigns and very specifically not for Seth Rollins. However, that doesn't mean Seth Rollins can't get access to the Friendo Club setup, which is pretty darn cool as well. You get access to bonus episodes, question threads for the podcast, and you get access to our huge predictions challenge. Of course, Juan Hosey is currently the Big Blue Predictions Champion. He is putting that title up on the line at the Week of Champions 3, which begins this weekend. That's right. It's AEW Full Gear and WWE Survivor Series. So if you want in on the Big Blue Predictions Challenge, you can hop into that right now by clicking join on YouTube at youtube.com/Steven Larson or at patreon.com/Steven Larson. So be sure to check that out. Great way to help support Going in Raw and the Friendo Club. So yeah. There you go.
Also, we're on our way, hopefully, to 198,891 subs.
Yeah.
You want to get over 898, 250 yesterday? We did that.
Yeah.
We did that yesterday. However, we're back roughly to where we started yesterday. Unfortunately, I apologize to be the bearer of bad news, but such is our circumstances right now. So
244.
Let me reiterate. We were trying to get 198,891 subs by the end of the year. It's a palindrome number. We love palindromes here because they're fun. Give me your favorite palindrome, Steve.
Oh, dude, it's boob.
Another fun one?
Yeah. Poop. Poop is a really fun one. Yeah.
Poop. So, help us. Get
us.
to 198,891 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. Hit that notify bell. And while you're hitting buttons here on the YouTube,
yeah, man,
go ahead and hit that thumbs up. That's the like button. If you're here watching the show, we got 611 people watching right now. Hold on, Steve. Let me finish. I know what you want to do. If you could, please. It means a lot. See, Steve's already pacing. He's frustrated. He's got a lot of angst building up in him. And if you guys don't want to be berated by Steve, I would advise you strongly to hit that like button.
Listen up. No. The time for talking is over. We've got 612 people watching and 124 likes, which means there's about 475 people who are just sitting there not hitting the like button. You're not hitting the like button? There's 475 of you watching right now. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Do you not have the opposable thumbs necessary to work the mouse and hit the like button? Are those missing? Are there 475 people with like 8 fingers on each hand? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. On both hands, conglomerated 8 fingers.
Yeah, 8
what
fingers
is wrong?
on one hand. That'd be strange. That'd be extras. Yeah.
16 fingers. Maybe they've got too many fingers, Larson.
That could be hard to navigate the keyboard or the mouse. I get that.
Could be kind of awesome, I'll be honest with you. My goodness gracious. I don't know.
I'd be a pretty awesome guitar player if I had 8 fingers per hand.
You'd be like Lyle from
crazy
Sanity Not Included. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So do us a solid. Look, it's all fun and games, people. Do us a favor, hit that like button. And I won't. I'll stop berating.
Look, you scared away 12 people. 12 people came here to watch some wrestling review content, and then they get yelled at by Steve, and they're like, "Oh, peace, I'm out of here."
Well, that's just a little bit of what you get here going in Raw. Sometimes Steve will yell at you.
It's like,
Jimbo Calamity, which is a great name, says Tranquilo, Steve. Take it down about 20%. Mellow. I'll yell at you in a mellow way.
Thank you, everybody, for hitting the like button there. I see we got a bunch here.
Yeah, man.
So thank
Almost
you, everybody.
Up to 200,
much
which is still like a 30%.
Appreciated. Hey, man, you got to be thankful for everyone. Every single one. Be thankful. Appreciate
I
it.
take them all for granted, to be honest. We also have 117 people watching on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, I know you got a Google account. Everybody's got Gmail. Go to YouTube, click that like button, click that subscribe button.
Rage did it. Says watching on Twitch, just jumped to the tube and dropped a like. Thank you, Rage.
Thank you, Rage. If everybody was like Rage, our jobs would be a lot easier. You wouldn't get yelled at anyways. I got a parent-teacher conference today, man. I'm fired up.
I could tell.
Yeah, man.
I could tell. So next up, we have Sammy and Seth. They're talking backstage. Cody steps in. Cody's like, Sammy, can you excuse us? And he turns to Seth and goes, let's talk.
Let's talk.
And Seth's like, come on, man. Don't you have a title match to worry about? And Cody says, yes. Winning the titles is step 1, dismantling the Judgment Day. And Seth says, stop with that. That's not why you're here. Quit the foreplay and tell me straight. So Cody says, all right, I need you. One night. 364 days of the year we can hit each other, but at War Games, I need you. The team needs you. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Seth says, I don't like you. I don't know if I'm ever going to like you, but I respect you. You need me for one night, us to be good for one night. War Games, I promise you, we're good. I'll go win those damn titles.
Cody's so smooth. This is a guy that he humiliated 3 times in a row. Absolutely decimated Seth freaking Rollins, who, by the way, can't get the Tribal Chief set up.
That's correct.
Now, Cody, leader of Team War Games, clearly, and he's got this guy who he humiliated 3 times in a row. Patting him on the back saying, go out and win those titles. That's how smooth and how the 4th dimensional thinking of Cody Rhodes in this situation.
Because Seth was expecting Cody to be like, you're trying to get close to me so you could get a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity.
No, Seth is thinking is one-dimensional. And Cody's on a whole other level right now.
So Cody's is superior is what you're saying.
Cody's is superior. Yeah, that was a good segment. I like that.
It was
after that, we had Otis versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I appreciated in a loss they made Otis look pretty strong. It took 3 Kinshasas to put him down. I thought that was pretty cool. Afterwards, Shinsuke, afterwards, Gable's checking on Otis. We see a replay of the finish, and then Nakamura pushes Gable's head as he gets up, and Nakamura shooshes him. And Gable and Maxine hold him back, and Nakamura screams, "Come on!" So he wants some of that. I think that they're just gonna do Nakamura's like. I like this. He's gonna win all these smaller feuds against like lessers, and then he'll lose against Cody if that's gonna be the feud there. But I hope they make that feud like really mean something. The Nakamura Cody stuff. I think that could be really
exactly. Then we got a War Games video package with that whole card of just rules. Because the match doesn't even really start till everybody's in the ring.
Thick with text.
So the first half hour of what you watch on TV is an actual match.
Yeah.
It's the prelude anyway. So backstage.
Let me ask you something.
What?
Where in the pantheon of big matches does War Games fall for you?
You mean huge gimmick matches, right? Hell in a Cell, cage
right?
match.
Yeah, things that I hear this now I'm getting geeked out for. Because I'll be honest with you, like War Games is not like my favorite thing in the world. I don't really get super excited for it.
Yeah, because are you worried someone's gonna get hurt?
Nah, I kind of feel like they've dialed that back down a little bit. Like AEW just did like whatever their last War Games was. They didn't do like a big spot. It was just brutal.
They did. Yeah.
There's just too much going on. It's just too much. And then you have the match, and like there's always like match hasn't even started yet. Like nobody can win for the first, like you said, 30 minutes or so.
First half of the match. I don't really get hyped for any of the gimmick matches for the sake of them being gimmick matches, with the exception of a beat the clock challenge and a good gauntlet match.
Gauntlets I love.
Is in even any match type, standard match, falls count anywhere, whatever the case may be. They only really feel meaningful or important if the stories going into it are interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be
absent of story. Then I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be a fine match. And sometimes, like when the Dakota Kai turn heel in that one match, I thought that was kind of cool. Where she did the kick through the thing.
I will say the one match type I get hyped for, regardless of stories, is always the Royal Rumble.
I'm always hyped for the Rumble. The Rumble's always a big deal. Also, like I've realized through the years. Recently, you know what? Freaking Elimination Chamber. That's some cool shit right there. I like that. I like the Elimination Chamber. I'm down with that.
Yeah, Chamber's not bad.
Rumble
I also say
is
Money in
tops,
the Bank.
though.
I always get Money in the Bank because it's got the potential to alter the landscape of what happens over the next year.
It does, yeah.
Those are the two I get hyped just because inherently there's a built-in story to both those matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but regardless,
right.
whatever's going on, I know something interesting could come out of this. Anyway, so we're backstage. Seth is there. He walks up to Drew McIntyre. And Drew says to him, "You told me if I lost, I'd have no one to blame but myself. You're right. You also told me that this could be the best thing that ever happened to me. You may be right about that too. But here I am to give you something I should have last Saturday." And Seth's like, "Oh, he's going to punch me." Bang, Claymore, right here. Nope. Drew extends his hand, and Seth shakes it. And Drew says, "Represent the title the way a champion should. I'm going to do what I always do, work my arse off, fight my way back, and get a rematch." And Seth says, "I know you will, big man. I know you will." And kind of smacks him on the chest a little bit. And then the camera follows Seth.
Broken.
As he's limping
he is
backstage.
Hobbling, man.
Yeah.
He's a mess. Yeah, he's a mess.
He is. And
after that, we had Piper Niven versus Tegan Knox. Oh, man. Chelsea Green looked like $1 million in that whatever the animal
body suit with the gold boots.
My goodness, that she looked like a championship title right there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she helped Piper Niven lose this match. So Tegan hits a knee, gets a 2 count with that. Green then gets up on the apron, distracts Tegan. She runs into a clothesline by Piper. Natalia then comes out, pushes Green off the top of the apron, or off the apron rather, as Piper takes her out. Piper misses the crossbody on Tegan, and then Tegan hits a Shiniest Wizard for 2. Piper gets the leg on the rope, and then Tegan flips over Piper, who misses a sit-down splash. Tegan rolls her up and gets the win with that. There was also, I think, preceding this, there was a nice little Tegan Knox video package. I like those things that they put together. Those things look really cool.
Yeah. Then we get a Miz interview. Jackie asks him, what drives you to beat Gunther? And he goes, "I don't know, a bus. I have a bus now." I feel like Miz probably had a bus for years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
If you're in the upper echelon, you can afford the bus to transport you from show to show. He says, "Oh, you mean the match? Respect, to restore the respect of my legacy as Intercontinental Champion that Gunther has tried to diminish. He's called me a sports entertainer, a clown. And he does a bad German accent. Says, get to the choppa.
Yeah,
like
he just does. Yeah, he does the Arnold.
Yeah.
thing.
So then Ivar and Valhalla walk up, and Ivar says, you're a clown, Miz. You're a joke. And you think you can look past me tonight. You aren't making it to Survivor Series. So they kind of bicker a little bit. The Bronson Reed walks in.
Mm-hmm.
And Miz is like, hi, Bronson. You're interrupting. And Bronson goes, yeah, I tell you, you're both lucky you're still standing. The only person luckier is Gunther for escaping me. And Ivar says, escaping you? You had your shot, and I don't see the Intercontinental title over your shoulder. And then Reed says, step back, big man, before I send you back to back a failure to your Viking gods. And he talks to Valhalla, says, Valhalla, smarten your man up. And Ivar says, oh, you want to smart me up? Smart me up then. And he pie faces Reed. And then Reed kind of like gets pushed back a little bit. Camera follows, and the camera pans back over. Valhalla standing in front of Ivar.
Mm-hmm.
And Reed just walks away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. After that, oh man, can you please give us your best rendition of DIY?
We are DIY.
That's kind of impressive. I put you on the spot there, and he delivered. Well done.
We are. God, it's so bad.
You know what they should have done?
Packaging is so bad.
Let me ask you this: instead of that as a theme song, and instead, if their theme songs are off the table, what if they would have gone with one of the old school NXT themes, like "We Are Not Your Kind"? Would that have been cooler for a DIY theme?
Dude, just about anything. Them, I'm telling you, they should have set up a microphone in one of their houses and be like, get what you need. Yeah. You're creating your own theme song.
Oh, that's terrible.
Pots and pans out.
That's awful.
I don't care.
People would be like, so confused. They'd be so confused.
It'd be better than this.
This is not good. And but the thing that really kills it is exactly what you pointed out. Tommaso Ciampa clapping and trying to get the crowd. Why does he care about the crowd? He never cared about the crowd.
No! Tommaso Ciampa should not be out there trying to get the crowd hyped up. No, that's antithetical to his nature.
It is. Let Gargano
should not be doing that.
Let Gargano do that and have Ciampa be kind of cringing over it. You know?
Yeah.
That should be their dynamic. Like, we're here to destroy, and you're out there, like, getting people pumped up. And it's like, that's just our dynamic. I'm a Star Wars nerd, and you're a no-nonsense guy who hangs out in a crate somewhere, dropping your storage.
You live in a box
promos.
truck. Yes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's like, we're making main roster money now. You can afford something more. You can afford like a condo.
No, that's Ciampa's like, no, that's what keeps me hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
Living in this box truck. And then they lose. Or Ciampa loses. I know it's because Vinci interfered, but still took that L.
That's good news for them because they're going to have like a tag team match against these guys, and now DIY are shoe in to win that.
Yeah, for sure, because Vinci's going to take the pin. So Vinci gets kicked out of the ringside area early in the match, comes out towards the end, and takes out Gargano, and that distracts Ciampa, so Ludwig Kaiser can get the roll-up on Ciampa to get the win.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 2 weeks in a row that either DIY or a member of the team has taken an L. I know they've both been interference losses.
Yeah, right.
Not a great look, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, last week it was like a straight-up kick to the head.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Imperium is going to break up. Like, they ran that solo package for Kaiser?
Yeah.
So I feel like he's going to go solo. Vinci, they need to put him back in that, like, fashionista role. Yeah,
that was good stuff.
That right. That was cool.
That was good stuff.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Collision under 400,000 with a .11 demo.
Better than last week, though.
Yeah, baby.
So next we're in the Judgment Day's clubhouse, their locker room. Rhea's talking about how she's going to handle Zoe, and then says, with Dom and JD banned from ringside, we need to focus on Damien and Finn's tag title match. She says we should see what our fearless leader's thoughts are. She kind of smirks the priest. The priest says, "Oh, take it easy. I got hot. I didn't mean it.
Didn't mean it."
And Rhea says, "I have to admit, it does sound good for War Games. So if you guys are okay with it, I think Priest is the man for the job." And Dom's like, "Yeah, we're cool." And Finn goes, "Yeah." And then Rhea says, "Priest is leader for War Games."
she's oh God, I love Rhea Ripley so much.
And then she says, what? How is it? Someone says, "What about the other thing we got to take care of?" And Rhea goes, "JD." And then Priest says, really? Right now? And Rhea says, yes. He's in medical right now because he took a shot for you. That could have been you in medical, and this tag title match would have been in jeopardy. And Finn says, come on. Oh, sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Oh, and then, Finn says, come on, big man. He's proven himself time and again. It's time to make him a member of Judgment Day. And then Dom's like,
Dom says, yeah, of course. And then Priest says, all right, let me handle this myself.
And she gives him the duffel bag with the cut in it.
The cut.
Yeah, man. And then after that, Xia Li awkwardly freaking knocks out Indy Hartwell. I love these, though. I love that this is a gimmick for her. I think it's great. So, yeah, Xia Li hits it. So it's Xia Li versus Indy Hartwell. I think this is a bit longer than the Candice LeRae match,
a little bit,
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So she hits a spinning heel kick, and Xia goes for a running attack, but Indy just collapses. And then they're like, nope, this match is done with. And then Becky Lynch comes out. She walks out and says, Xia, I want to thank you for hitting me in the head last week, because now we're not waiting to do it on your time. We're going to do it on my time. And, well, the man has come to Washington, D.C., and I came here looking for a fight. Becky goes for a manhandle, but Xia avoids it and runs out of the ring. And she says, that's the fighter you want to be? You want to run? We only got 7 more days to run, because I made it official. Next week, it's Xia Li versus Becky Lynch. Welcome to the big time. Larson, how do you think this match is going to pan out? They got something good with Xia Li right now.
They do, but she's already hit Becky with that kick to the head.
She has, yeah. That was the big thing, you think, huh?
So Becky's going to win.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a drag. I want to see Xia Li, man. The packaging, everything about her is so spot on.
It's really good. Her theme's really good. I missed the lightning effects from her entrance, though.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So next we got Miz warming up backstage. Gunther walks up to him. Steve, do you want to do your Gunther?
Oh, a million. But I love this segment, too. This was great. Congratulations, Mike. To the surprise of absolutely everyone, you won last week. Even though it was not the most decisive win, let's face the facts. Fun and games are over. You are the rightful challenger to what's rightfully mine.
And the Miz is like, watch my match tonight. I don't think you understand who you're dealing with. I do whatever it takes to win, to capitalize on moments, night after night. I've done it for 20 years. There's a reason I've held that belt 8 times at the Survivor Series. You're going to learn the difference between the longest reigning and greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Meanwhile, Gunther's just smiling.
Try not to laugh.
He's
That's what
beaming. He says, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. Good luck for tonight. Whatever happens out there will not compare to the beating of a lifetime you will receive at Survivor Series. Yeah, God, I love Gunther so much.
He's awesome.
He's the best. He's the best. Too bad he's going to lose
turn
to
Miz's
Cody
chest
at
into hamburger, too.
So after that, we got Ivar versus Miz, but first we had a little bit backstage. We have Shayna and Zoe Stark. And Zoe says, Rhea has no idea what's going to hit her. I'm unstoppable right now. And Shayna says, unstoppable. She says, I had that locked up at Crown Jewel. Second, I had your number last week, but I'll admit, you've been on a roll. I'm looking forward to seeing you beat Rhea. And then Raquel comes in and says, Chicas, look, I know you both dumped me out last week, but Zoe, you've been on one lately, so I wanted to wish you good luck. And then Nia Jax comes in and says, wow, you're all pathetic. Zoe, I squashed you already. It should be me against Rhea. And if you didn't all gang up on me and eliminate me, I'd be next in line. Also, none of you could beat me one-on-one. Then Raquel says, if you're so tough, where's your title? I think you haven't actually been challenged yet. Nobody's really pushed you. I'm not scared of you. When we fight, I know I'll beat you. And Nia says, keep thinking that. It's all very my career stuff going on here. But I liked it. It was good.
It is. Then we got Miz versus Ivar. Really fun match.
Oh, yeah. This was fun.
Really fun bout.
Let me ask you something. So, Miz is on a roll, and I get he'll do anything to win. So he cheated here to win. He got the feet up on the ropes.
He's the WWE Universe's scumbag.
Oh, dude, don't compare him to MJF.
No, I'm not comparing him to MJF, but I feel like that's the vibe they're going after.
Big pop for him for the win here.
Yeah.
They've done a good job turning him around.
Again, it's not a situation where he wakes up one day, he's like, I'm going to be a babyface now. No, the essence of Miz is the same. He'll cut corners to win still.
Yeah.
But now it's just from a perspective where he's just not a bad guy.
He's sort of the closest person that's active to being like Mr. Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why they're doing this match here, to prove further that Gunther is. It's not about the number. It's about the length of the reign.
Exactly.
Gunther's gonna
Although I think Miz is still ahead of him in total combined days as champ.
Oh, is that
There's
true?
a handful of names that is ahead of him has
Oh, okay. All right.
combined days. Hold on. Like Pedro Morales is got more total combined days than a couple different names, I think.
Okay. All right. Boy, Pedro was a super champion, wasn't he? Because he also had like, did he have a really? Pedro had a really long. He had like 1,000 days, didn't he?
I don't know if he had 1,000 days, but he had
as WWF champion.
I don't know if he had 1,000 days, but he had a decent reign because he beat Ivan Koloff after Koloff beat Bruno.
I forget if he was transitional or if he. I knew this at one time. Let's see here. WWE champion. Why don't you go ahead and continue with
Sure. So the finish of this one, Valhalla got involved. Ivar hit this great avalanche world's strongest slam. That was cool, but Miz kicks out. Ivar goes up top, but Bronson Reed had come to ringside earlier, taunts him. Miz hits a powerbomb, puts the legs on the ropes to get the win.
Pedro had just over 1,000 days with 1,027. Right. So, yeah.
Cool. So then, of course, Ivar's upset. But Bronson Reed goes after him and hits him with a tsunami. Valhalla checks on Ivar, and Reed talks some crap. And then we got the War Games rules package yet again.
Oh, man, just thick with text.
Oh, just so much text. So then Damian Priest is backstage and walks up to JD and says, look, I've debated this with the crew for a while now. Part of me doesn't think you're ready yet. A big part of me is really annoyed by you. But tonight, you took one for me and for the team. That's someone I can stand with, so I can go to war with. So then he takes out the cut.
Yeah, the cut.
And he gives it to JD. And
says, JD
Judgment Day. Yeah.
Ear to ear smile. Yeah.
So
I would be too. It looked like a really cool cut. There was like some like white spray paint on it.
Yeah, it looked like it might have had some studs or something on it.
Some spikes, yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's going to wear that to the grocery store like everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to sleep in bed. He's going to sleep in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
I would. Judgment Day cut. Are you kidding me?
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So Finn walks up and goes, sorry, go ahead, Steve.
What's going on here, boys? And then JD shows off his jacket, and Priest is like, he's in the crew. And Finn says, finally, right? JD, congratulations. But the celebration needs to wait. Find Dom and Lee before Pierce goes nuts. Damian, let's go show everyone why we're the undisputed tag team champions. He was giving Priest a little bit of flack there.
A little bit.
Finally. Okay, yeah.
Then Gunther's backstage with Vinci and Kaiser, and he says, well done tonight. And Kaiser, assuming he's talking to him, says, thank you, I appreciate it. It's just another Monday to me, walking out there to show the whole W universe what Ludwig Kaiser is all about.
I wasn't talking to you. Vinci, so smart to get thrown out and take advantage of these two goofs. You won the match tonight for Imperium. And Kaiser is not happy, dude. And then, he looks at Kaiser like he didn't do shit. And walks off. Ludwig is stunned, and Vinci laughs and walks off. And Kaiser turns around and sees Jinder and Indus and says, what do you want? And Indus and Jinder says, we're going to go talk to Pierce, but make sure to make your next move wisely. And Kaiser's like, oh, I don't need that complication in my life right now.
Nope. So we're in the gym with Alpha Academy, and the Creeds is there too. So Otis apologizing to Gable for losing. And Gable says, oh, you're still my number one guy. I'm proud of you. Don't worry about Nakamura. I'll take care of him next week. And then Julius Creed says, Coach, maybe you need a couple new trading partners. Maybe you have a need for Creed. And Gable says, abandon the Gable method? No, thank you. So Brutus mentions they're undefeated. They want tag titles. So New Day walks in. Like, what was Kofi eating? I couldn't tell what he was eating.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I like that he had, a couple weeks ago, he had the takeout tray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, as it's made a big briefcase. And today he was eating something out of a takeout tray. So they're arguing about tag title stuff. It cuts to Ivy and Maxine. And Ivy says, always a competition with them. Maxine says, they aren't the only ones who could be champion. You nearly won the Battle Royal last week. Ivy says, you didn't do so bad yourself. You eliminated Piper, a champion. And Maxine says, so that makes me champion. And Ivy agrees. Says, girl math checks out. Maxine pops and goes, you know girl math? Ivy, we got off on the wrong foot. Have you ever thought of modeling? And they walk off together.
And then we get more. It goes back to the guys, and Tozawa says, shoosh. And then he's got a Washington football team belt. And he's like, I want to be WWE Tag Team Champion. And then he does the nasty, and Woods is like, Akira, that's nasty. Yeah, he starts smelling it.
Starts smelling. We get a rundown.
Dude, I like that they still have that silly kind of comedy stuff in there. You know, you think maybe with Vince gone, Triple H wants to bedle it up. But yeah, no, they keep the comedy stuff.
You need the variety.
People, kids like it, and, a good little respite, and people get on TV.
Yeah, exactly. Next week, we're going to have the War Games Advantage match. We got Xia and Becky, Raquel and Nia. So Cody's music hits. He makes his way out first for main event.
The main
Him
event.
and Jay challenging Judgment Day for those tag team championships. And what the hell was Cody thinking?
Yeah.
So they hit the Cody 1D.
Yeah. Right.
And rather than just like hang around where the pin's happening and keep his eyes out for Priest, he slides to the opposite side of the ring and just like watches from there.
Yeah. Tactical error. A rare.
What the hell was that about?
A rare tactical error from Cody Rhodes.
Like slide to the opposite side and try to make sure Priest doesn't break it up. Come on, Cody. So Priest breaks it up.
Yeah.
Cody takes him out with a suicide dive, but Cody's then sent into the ring post. A piece of it falls off. And then Priest hits him with the South of Heaven on the apron. So Jay takes out Finn and Priest with a tope over the top rope. And then Drew McIntyre teleports. And he just drops Jay with a Claymore.
Nasty Claymore.
So he puts Jay back in the ring. He starts walking up the ramp. And Finn covers him to get the win. Judgment Day retain.
I mean, I'm looking back at this, and yeah, Cody had hit him with a crossroads, so he's just thinking, well, I don't need to check on him. But tactical error, nobody's perfect. He's as close as they get.
But I don't know. That's a pretty massive galling error, if you ask me.
Wow, big error according to Larson. Post match, Cody checks on Jay. Drew stares at them on the ramp and smirks. And then Rhea Ripley, managing so many different fires, appears behind him. She extends her hand. They shake hands. And Cody's like, been outsmarted. Yeah, man. Oof. Dangerous new addition to Team Judgment Day. Whether or not Drew will get a cut, I don't know.
Something tells me he's not going to have to go through the process that JD had to get his cut.
He's not going to be a prospect.
No.
But I don't know that he's going to want to be in a crew either.
High price free agent. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If he wants a cut, he's getting a cut.
Yeah, but the question will be, does he want cut?
I don't know.
They should sell Judgment Day cuts on WWE Shop.
They should. Imagine him in a cut.
Not gonna lie, I might buy one if they do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk around town. People will be like, "Hey, what MC are you in?" Judgment Day.
Start singing the theme.
If you believe.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Anyways.
Oh, that's a good question from Blake. Says, considering Jay Uso wasn't even at Clash at the Castle last year, is Drew overreacting a bit?
No, because if Jay was there, guess what? He would have given him a big old super kick.
Yep.
Guilty by association.
Guilty.
Hey, there was a question Patrick Sparks wanted. I'm going to see if I can find it because it was on the Patreon. Right. I don't know if he reposted or not. He posted it on like the freebie post that I did. And then I told him, I was like, hey, post this.
I saw that.
I was like, post this on the other one. So let me see if I can run that down.
Give me a moment. I'll find it.
Got to make sure we get that Patrick Sparks question in, man. The
what episode of Raw and SmackDown is most memorable to you personally, not attended live, that is?
Oh, here we go. Oh. What episode of
Raw is probably the night that Mankind won the title.
So the problem with that is I'm trying to remember I'm trying to think if I can remember anything.
No, but I remember that really well.
Right, yeah. So for me, it's like the Corporate Rumble. I can't remember anything else, but that Corporate Rumble was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
There's the 2016 draft episode of Raw.
Yeah, that was really good.
Where Finn got drafted. That was really good. Had that cool logo. It was like industrial and shit.
Yeah. But to be fair, my memory's pretty lousy.
Yeah, mine is too. I'm trying to remember any episode of Raw where I can remember multiple things that happened.
Yeah. As far as an episode of SmackDown. Oh, when Roman got dog food dumped on him.
Oh, the birth of the tribal chief right there. That is so significant too, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
AJ Otani re-upped his Friendo Club membership 2 months now. Says, what's your favorite War Games match? I have
might
such
be
a
the
dog shit memory,
second
dude.
one.
I have such a dog shit memory.
Might be the second one.
Like, I remember the women's match that EO did the trash can stuff. Like, I remember that, me marking out huge for that stuff. That was cool. Was last year, was it Bloodline? Was that the, that was a Bloodline.
Last year was Bloodline, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's going to be that then.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was
because Sammy and Jay hugged. Oh, that's the one right there.
Yeah, that was good.
I'll say that one. Let me hop here on the old community thread. Man, we got 643 people watching.
That's so awesome.
What are our likes at? I'm just sort of curious.
278.
All right, well that's a better. It's
about 40%. It's about 40%.
Okay, it's up to 40%. 80% would be ideal.
Well, obviously.
But we can't rely on these people to hit the like button, apparently. There's 620 of you. 617. Oh, they felt it. They felt it coming. They felt the dog come out. They're like,
the dog's
ooh.
coming out.
That's the only thing that really brings the dog out, Larson.
I know, I could tell.
It's the like situation. We've got a real like situation over here.
You're real quiet. You can hear.
Strife says, any chance we're slowly teasing a face turn for Ludwig? Definitely a solo run for Ludwig.
Yeah. I guess it would have to be a face run for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if that dude can be a face. He has got such like prick vibes, you know?
Yeah, I know. Luis here says the traditional 5v5 SmackDown versus Raw Survivor Series match. They really done much to build to that. Seemed like it was there.
Yeah, I know. I thought they were going to tease more Aldis versus Pierce, but
I thought so too.
Scrapped apparently. I appreciate whenever we hear like, Karrion Kross been backstage, but they didn't use him. It's like, okay, what's Triple H up to? What's he doing?
Yeah.
I feel like, and like with Vince, I just feel it's like a lot of like papers being ripped up and then like changes being made. With Triple H, I feel like he's got like, one of those 3D chessboards like in Star Trek where he's like, okay, this part goes here, this part goes here to maximize story potential and character potential. I feel like there's a lot more thought and consideration, and that's why things are changing.
I think so. And
I'm such a mark.
Well,
for Triple H.
I think if changes are made, it's because they're like, okay, do we want a 4.5 hour Survivor Series? We do want a lean 3.5 hour show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Let's not set up matches that we're not going to deliver at Survivor Series because these pay-per-view nows are pretty rarefied air.
Oh, man, we're over 50% now, man. We got 306 likes and 600 people watching. So fewer people started watching, but then more people liked. There we go, over 50% right now.
Luis, so who do you realistically have on each team and who wins? I don't have to worry about who's on each team, but if they did have a Raw versus SmackDown 5v5 Survivor Series match, who do you think they would win?
SmackDown would lose because you'd have Waller and Kevin Owens and Austin Theory on the same team.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be on Team SmackDown. Rhea and Santos are doing too much right now, so they're not going to be on that team. God, could you imagine if Kevin Owens, Theory, Waller, and Pretty Deadly were on the same team?
Jeez.
That would be a mess.
That
team would super lose.
Sebastian Garcia says if CM Punk wasn't returned to AEW or WB, but instead joining Going in Raw, what would be some hints and references Steven Larson would drop?
What a great question. It's like we're not very subtle people.
No.
Especially me.
Like when I start taping up my hands for shows.
You would start talking about, be like, hey, the other day we went to go get some wine, but I didn't have any.
There we go. Yeah.
You'd ask me at the beginning of a show, you'd be like, I would do this. I'd be like, oh man, look at this cup of coffee right here. And you'd be like, Steve, isn't caffeine a drug?
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
you probably quote Ian Mackay.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is like one of my favorite shoot interviews of all time. Ian Mackay shoot interview.
I know. Zach Sparks, do you think they'll have Alpha Academy and the Creeds combined stables to be the first dominant face group in the era of the Bloodline and Judgment Day?
I kind of thought about that too. Like, I don't know because
you want the Creeds being a comedy thing, That's what Alpha Academy is, comedy thing.
Yeah, I know. That's a hell of a faction, though. If you have the Creeds be the tag team, Gable remains the solo guy, Otis is a mid-card guy.
Yeah, who knows?
But I don't know that they're going to do that. That's kind of all the good questions I have here. No offense to the other YouTubers, but like there's DJ Mott says, Should Judgment Day add another female to the group? I don't see why they would.
Unless it's story motivated and there's a reason for it.
If Rhea wants a prospect, if she's like, I got to delegate.
Yeah, she wants an understudy.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
let's run with this from DJ Mott then. Who would be her understudy? Gigi Dolan.
Yeah, that's good.
Or JC Jane, to be honest with you. And then JC Jane
Cora
has
Jade.
her own understudy. Oh, Cora Jade. That's a good name. Blair Davenport. I don't know if Blair would be an understudy, though.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like she'd want to be an understudy.
Yeah. I like this one also from Strife. Who should be more worried, Priest or Bailey?
Bailey, absolutely.
Bailey. Yeah.
Yeah, Bailey for sure. Alex Foster asked if not Orton, who would be a good fifth man for War Games? It's not going to be Orton.
Pillman
Alex Foster
Jr. What about
mentions
Pillman
Wesley.
Jr.? Pillman Jr.
Absolutely not.
No Pillman Jr.
No.
Bad idea.
No. Throws him aside. Kevin Owens is the right answer. It'd be Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it'd be Kevin Owens. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it'd be Kevin Owens.
That's good. All right, man. Tight 1 hour and 11 minutes today.
Look at that.
Kind of disappointed we
Streamlined
only came
for
in
us.
Streamlined. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. What's going on tonight? NXT is tonight.
That's correct.
The further drama of Carmelo and Trick.
Mm-hmm.
Did he do it?
Oh, it's the Iron Survivor Challenge. That's back.
Are you a fan of Iron Survivor?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a different approach to something. I think it's neat.
It's a cool name of it'd be a cool name of a band. It's not Survivor, it's Iron Survivor. Maiden and Survivor.
Yeah, maybe
come
from the
together.
80s. How about these days? I don't know about that.
Oh man, retro's in. Look at Greta Van Fleet.
I'm not really that familiar with their work. I've heard of them.
Oh, it just nothing that sounds like Led Zeppelin B-sides. Like the dude literally just tries to sound exactly like what's his face?
Robert Plant.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it. For everybody, thanks to you for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the likes and the subscriptions and all that. Thank you so much.
All that stuff. Yeah, what are we at now, likes? We ended on 330 with 595, 560. Oh, my God, we're dropping viewers like crazy. They're like, they're out of here. Hey, before we leave, check out this advertisement for our Patreon and YouTube membership stuff. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today.